Hi guys, welcome back. Nate here. In the last video, we had been talking about starting to introduce the difference between a user and a known process. And so now in this video, we're going to actually go build an experiment and start to see how those make our life a little bit easier as we start to plan out what we want to do in the lab. So the very straightforward thing, come back here and actually create a new experiment. And now we've talked about everything that needs to go into up at the top, but for now we're going to go ahead and skip that and scroll straight down to the bottom and start actually adding processes and deciding exactly what we want to do in the lab. So let's say in this example we want to deposit some metal onto a silicon substrate. Well, the first thing we want to do is probably a wafer prep process. And so what we're looking at here in this module, if you just simply start typing, you'll start to see this whole list start to filter out. And so let's see, we want to use this wafer recipe process just to get started. And you'll notice that because it was grayed out and we noticed when we were first selecting it that this is a known reliable process. This process is something that's actually distributed across the lab. Everybody in the lab is using it. And so the experiment we're actually trying to do is an oxide deposition using PECVD. And because we've actually built out this process, a user process in a prior experiment, it's going to be pretty easy to add it to this one. So pretty quickly you'll see that as we start to type, we can filter it out. And in just a few seconds, we have our whole experiment built. And there you have it. Pretty simple experiment, just two processes here where we have our known wafer recipe up at the top, and then our experimental user recipe at the bottom, our oxide deposition. So the only missing piece here, now that you haven't been shown, is, well, what happens if you're wanting to do a completely new recipe, something that isn't already in the Hula database? So that's what we're going to be covering in the next video. So that'd be the final part 4 of this draft experiment series. So we'll talk to you on the next one.